Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Matt and Sara Podcast. I am Matt, and today we have a very special episode. Sara, how are you today?
Hi, Matt. I am great, thank you. And hello to everyone who is listening. Today is a very exciting day because we are going to talk about something really fun.
Yes, that is right. Today we are going to talk about travel. Specifically, we are going to talk about our trip together. Sara and I went on a big trip together, 23 days.
23 days. Can you believe it? It was a long trip, but it was amazing. We went to 3 different cities, 3 beautiful cities in Europe.
Yes, we went to Porto in Portugal, then we went to Madrid in Spain, and finally we went to Paris in France. 3 countries, 3 cities, 23 days.
It sounds like a lot, right? But honestly, it did not feel like too much. Each city was so different, so special. We had a wonderful time in each place.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Let's talk about Porto first. Porto was our first city. Sara, what do you remember about Porto?
Oh, Porto. I loved Porto so much. Porto is a city in the north of Portugal. It is not the capital of Portugal, by the way. The capital of Portugal is Lisbon, but Porto is very famous and very beautiful.
That is a good point, Sara. Many people think Lisbon is the only famous city in Portugal, but Porto is also very special. The city is on a river. The river is called the Douro River. D-O-U-R-O, Douro.
Yes, and the city is very colorful. The buildings are old and beautiful. Many buildings have blue and white tiles. In Portuguese, these tiles are called azulejos. A-Z-U-L-E-J-O-S, azulejos. They are everywhere in Porto, on the walls, on the churches, on the houses.
I remember walking down the streets and just stopping every few minutes to look at the tiles. They were so beautiful. Each tile has a picture or a pattern. It's like art on the walls.
Exactly. And speaking of art, we also visited the São Bento train station. This is a famous train station in the center of Porto. Inside the station, there are thousands of blue and white tiles with pictures of Portuguese history. It's incredible.
Yes, we went there 2 times. We went once on our first day, and then we went again because Sara wanted to take more photos.
Yes, that is true. I could not stop taking photos. Everything was so pretty. But okay, let's talk about the food in Porto because the food was amazing.
Oh yes, the food. Let's talk about food. What was your favorite food in Porto, Sara?
My favorite was the francesinha, F-R-A-N-C-E-S-I-N-H-H-A, francesinha. This is a famous sandwich from Porto, but it is not a normal sandwich. It has bread, meat, ham, and sausage inside. Then it's covered with melted cheese, and then on top of everything, there's a spicy tomato and beer sauce, and a fried egg on top.
It sounds like a lot of food, and it is. It's a very big, very heavy meal, but it is delicious. I remember the first time I saw it, I thought, this is too much food. But then I ate it, and it was incredible.
I think I ate francesinha 4 times in Porto. 4 times. I just loved it so much. Every restaurant makes it a little different, so it was interesting to try different versions.
And we also had pastel de nata. Pastel de nata is a small, sweet pastry. It has a crispy outside and a creamy egg custard inside. These are from Portugal, and they are famous all over the world. We had them every morning with coffee.
Every single morning. We would wake up, go to a small cafe near our hotel, and have a coffee and 2 or 3 pastel de nata. It was the perfect breakfast. Simple, delicious, and very cheap.
That is another great thing about Porto. It's not very expensive. You can eat and drink very well for a good price. Much cheaper than Paris, for example.
That is very true. We will talk about Paris later, but yes, Porto was very affordable. Good food, good wine, beautiful views, and very friendly people.
Speaking of wine, Porto is also famous for port wine. Port wine is a special sweet wine that comes from the Porto region. We did a wine tasting at one of the wine cellars across the river in Via Nova de Gaia. That was really fun.
I remember that. We crossed the bridge. The bridge is called the Dom Luis Bridge, a beautiful old iron bridge, and we went to the wine cellars. They explained how port wine is made, and then we tasted different kinds. I liked the white port wine the best.
I liked the ruby port. It's red and sweet, very strong, but very good. Okay, so we spent about 7 days in Porto. 7 days, and every day was different. One day we went to the beach. There's a beach near Porto called Foz do Douro.
Yes, we took a bus to the beach. The Atlantic Ocean is right there. It was a cold day, actually, so we did not swim, but we walked on the beach and watched the waves. The ocean was very powerful and beautiful.
And we also explored the neighborhoods. Porto has many different neighborhoods. Each one has its own personality. We walked a lot. Porto is a city for walking. There are many hills, though, many steep streets.
Oh, yes, the hills. My legs were so tired every night, but it was worth it because from the top of the hills, you can see amazing views of the city and the river.
Okay, let's move on to the second city, Madrid. Madrid is the capital of Spain. It's a big, busy, exciting city. How did you feel when we arrived in Madrid, Sarah?
Honestly, I felt the energy immediately. Madrid is so alive. Even at night, the city is full of people. Spanish people eat dinner very late, sometimes at 10 o'clock at night, and they stay out until very late.
Yes, in Porto, we usually had dinner at 7 or 8 in the evening, but in Madrid, the restaurants were empty at 8. People start eating at 9, 10, even 11 at night. It was very different from what we were used to.
But we adapted quickly. After a few days, we were also eating late and staying out late. That's the Spanish way of life. It's called la buena vida, the good life.
And the food in Madrid was also incredible. Different from Porto, but also incredible. We ate a lot of tapas. Tapas are small dishes of food that you share. You go to a bar or a restaurant, you order drinks, and they bring you small plates of food.
I loved tapas culture so much. You can try many different things in one meal. We had patatas bravas. These are fried potatoes with a spicy sauce. We had jamón, which is a special cured ham. We had tortilla española, which is a potato omelet. All of these are classic Spanish tapas.
And in some places in Madrid, when you order a drink, the tapas are free. You just pay for the drink and they give you food. We found a few streets like that, and we were very happy.
Yes, we ate very well in Madrid. And we also went to some famous places, the Prado Museum. The Prado is one of the most famous art museums in the world. It has paintings by very famous Spanish artists like Goya and Velázquez.
I have to be honest, I am not usually a person who loves museums, but the Prado was incredible. The paintings are so big and so detailed, you can stand in front of a painting for 10 minutes and still see new things.
I love museums, so I was in my element. We spent almost 4 hours in the Prado. Matt was very patient.
I was, and I actually enjoyed it. We also went to Retiro Park. Retiro Park is a huge, beautiful park in the center of Madrid. People go there to walk, run, have picnics, rent boats on the lake. It is like the lungs of the city.
We rented a rowing boat on the lake in Retiro Park. Matt was rowing, and I was just relaxing and enjoying the sun. It was such a peaceful afternoon, very different from the busy city streets.
And then I was very tired after rowing. Sarah did not row at all.
I was supervising. It is an important job. Okay, We also went to the Royal Palace in Madrid. It is a very big, very grand building. It is one of the largest royal palaces in Europe.
We went inside and saw the royal rooms. Everything was gold and marble and very fancy. It was hard to imagine people actually living there, but it is still used for official events by the Spanish royal family.
Madrid was very energetic. We spent about 8 days there, and every day we found something new to see or to eat. The city is very walkable, but it is also big, so we sometimes used the metro.
The Madrid Metro is very good, by the way. It is clean, fast, and easy to understand. Even if you do not speak Spanish, you can use it easily. This is a good tip for anyone who wants to visit Madrid.
Yes, and the people in Madrid were very friendly. Sometimes they spoke very fast Spanish, and we could not understand everything, but they were always patient and happy to help.
My Spanish is not very good. I know a few words. Hola, hello. Gracias, thank you. Por favor, please. ¿Dónde está el baño? Where is the bathroom? That last one is very important.
Yes, always important. My Spanish is a little better than Matt's, so I was the official translator for the group.
The group being the two of us, but yes, Sarah was a very good translator. Okay, let's talk about the last city, Paris, the city of light, the city of love, Paris, France.
Oh, Paris. I had been to Paris before, but this was Matt's first time. Matt, what was your first impression of Paris?
My first impression was, it is exactly like the pictures. You know, when you see Paris in movies and photos, it looks almost too beautiful to be real. But then you arrive and you think, yes, it really looks like this. The buildings, the streets, the cafes, everything looks exactly like you imagine.
I know that feeling. Paris has a very special atmosphere. It's hard to describe. The streets are wide and the buildings are all a similar height and style. There are cafes on every corner with little tables and chairs on the sidewalk.
And the Eiffel Tower. We saw the Eiffel Tower on our first night, and I could not believe how big it is. I knew it was big, but standing next to it is a completely different experience. It's enormous.
We went up the Eiffel Tower on our second day. We took the lift to the top. From the top, you can see all of Paris. It's 360 degrees of beautiful city views.
It was a little windy at the top, but the view was absolutely worth it. You can see the Seine River. The Seine is the river that goes through Paris, and all the famous landmarks, Notre Dame Cathedral, the Louvre Museum, Sacré-Cœur on the hill.
Speaking of Notre Dame, we were lucky because they had just reopened it after many years of restoration. Notre Dame had a terrible fire in 2019 and was closed for a long time for repairs. We were able to go inside and see it.
It was beautiful. The stained glass windows are incredible. Stained glass means the colorful glass that you see in old churches. When the light comes through the colored glass, it creates amazing patterns of color inside the church.
We also went to the Louvre. The Louvre is the most visited museum in the world. It is a former royal palace, and now it is a huge art museum. Inside, there are thousands and thousands of works of art.
And the most famous painting in the world is there, the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. We went to see the Mona Lisa, but I have to tell you honestly, it is smaller than I expected. Many people say this. You think it will be huge, but it's actually quite small.
Yes, the Mona Lisa is about this big. Well, you can't see me with your hands, but it's maybe 50 by 70 centimeters. Small, but there is always a big crowd of people around it trying to take photos.
We had to push a little to get close, but we did it. We saw the Mona Lisa. We can now say that forever.
Let's talk about food in Paris, because Paris is also very famous for its food. French food is known all over the world.
Yes, we ate croissants every morning. A croissant is a buttery, flaky pastry shaped like a crescent. In France, the croissants are just better than anywhere else. I don't know how to explain it, but they are just perfect.
We also ate baguettes. A baguette is a long, thin French bread. French people carry baguettes everywhere. You see people on the street, on the metro, on bicycles, all holding baguettes. It's very charming.
And the baguette is very cheap. You can buy a fresh baguette for about €1. €1. We bought baguettes and cheese and ate in the park by the Seine River. It was a perfect lunch.
Yes, picnic lunches in Paris are a wonderful idea. We did that several times. You buy bread, cheese, some fruit, maybe a little wine, and you sit in a park or by the river and enjoy life. Very simple, very Parisian.
We also went to a proper French restaurant for dinner one evening. It was a classic Parisian bistro. A bistro is a small, traditional French restaurant. We had onion soup, steak with French fries, in France they say steak frite, and crème brûlée for dessert.
Crème brûlée. That is my favorite French dessert. It's a creamy custard with a hard caramelized sugar crust on top. You tap it with your spoon and it breaks. It's delicious and also fun to eat.
Paris was also a city for walking. We walked along the Seine River. We walked through the Marais neighborhood. The Marais is a historic and very beautiful area with old buildings and art galleries and nice shops.
We also went to Montmartre. Montmartre is a neighborhood on a hill in the north of Paris. It's famous for the Sacré-Cœur Basilica, a big white church at the top of the hill. You climb many, many steps to get there, but the view of Paris from the top is beautiful.
My legs were tired again, but it was worth it. Montmartre is also famous for artists. Many famous painters lived and worked there in the past, like Picasso and Van Gogh. Today, you can still find artists painting in the streets and squares.
It has a very romantic, artistic atmosphere. I loved sitting in a small cafe in Montmartre with a coffee and just watching the world go by.
Now, Paris was more expensive than Porto and Madrid. That's something we should mention. Paris is one of the most expensive cities in Europe. Food, coffee, hotels, everything costs more. But it is so beautiful and there is so much to see and do that it's worth it.
If you are planning to visit Paris, my advice is save a little extra money, but also you can save money by doing things like picnic lunches, using the metro instead of taxis, and visiting free museums. Many museums in Paris are free on the first Sunday of the month.
Good tip, Sarah. Okay, so let's talk a little about our daily routine during these 23 days, because traveling for that long is different from a short holiday. You develop a routine.
Yes, every morning we would wake up, not too early, usually around 8:30 or 9, and we would go to a local café for breakfast. In each city, breakfast was a little different. In Porto, it was coffee and pastel de nata. In Madrid, it was coffee and toast with olive oil and tomato. In Paris, it was coffee and a croissant.
The morning coffee was always very important. This was our planning time. We would sit, drink coffee, and decide what to do that day. Sometimes we had a plan already, and sometimes we just decided in the morning.
I like to plan things. Matt is more spontaneous, so we had a good balance. I would say, today we should visit the museum and then the cathedral. And Matt would say, or maybe we just walk around and see what we find. And usually we did a little of both.
And some of the best moments of the trip came from not planning. Walking down a street we didn't know, finding a beautiful square, discovering a small restaurant that was not in any guidebook.
That is so true. In Porto, we found this tiny restaurant, maybe only 10 tables, where an old woman cooked traditional Portuguese food. There was no menu in English, just Portuguese. We didn't really understand it, so we just said, whatever you recommend, and she brought us the most amazing meal.
That was one of the best meals of the entire trip. Simple food made with love in a place that tourists usually don't find. That's the magic of slow travel, taking your time in each place and really exploring.
And 23 days really gives you that luxury. You're not rushing. You don't feel like you have to see everything in 2 days. You can take a morning off and just sit in a park. You can go back to a place you liked. You can get a little lost.
Getting lost is underrated. Some of my favorite memories from this trip are from moments when we were lost, following a street without knowing where it goes, ending up somewhere unexpected.
I agree. Okay, let's also quickly talk about transportation between the cities. How did we travel from Porto to Madrid and from Madrid to Paris?
Good question. From Porto to Madrid, we took a train. It was a long journey, maybe 9 or 10 hours, but we enjoyed it, looking out the window at the Spanish and Portuguese countryside. Reading, listening to music, talking.
I love train travel. It is so relaxing, and you see the landscape change slowly. You understand the geography of the place better when you travel by train.
From Madrid to Paris, we took a plane. It was only about 2 hours by plane. There is also a train option. You can take a high-speed train from Madrid to Paris, but we found a cheap flight and decided to fly this time.
The flight was quick and easy. We arrived in Paris in the early afternoon and had the rest of the day to explore.
One thing I want to say to our listeners, especially if you are beginners learning English, is that traveling is one of the best ways to practice language. When you travel, you hear English in different accents. You read signs and menus. You have to communicate with people.
Exactly. Even when we were in Portugal, Spain, and France, where people speak other languages, we used English to communicate with people from other countries, at the hostel, at the airport, with other tourists. English really is a global language.
And people are very kind when you try to speak their language, even just a little bit. Even if you just say obrigado, thank you, in Portuguese, or merci, thank you, in French, people really appreciate it. It shows respect.
That is so important. Always try a few words in the local language. People light up when you make the effort. It opens doors.
Okay, Sarah, we are getting close to the end of our episode. But before we finish, I want to ask you, what was your single favorite moment from the whole 23 days?
Oh, that is a hard question. Just one moment? Okay, I think my favorite moment was on our last evening in Porto. We sat on a terrace. A terrace is an outdoor area, like a balcony or a rooftop, and we watched the sunset over the Douro River. The sky was orange and pink. The old city was glowing. It was quiet and peaceful. I thought, I never want to leave this place.
That was a beautiful evening. I remember it perfectly. And for me, my favorite moment was in Paris. We were walking along the Seine River at night, and we stopped on one of the bridges, and suddenly the Eiffel Tower started sparkling. Every hour at night, the Eiffel Tower has a light show. Thousands of tiny lights flash and sparkle for about 5 minutes, and we were there, on the bridge, watching it together. It was magical.
Oh, yes, I had forgotten about that. That was absolutely magical. The Eiffel Towers sparkling at night over the river. Perfect.
Perfect is exactly the right word. 23 days of travel, 3 cities, so many memories, so much food, so many beautiful places. Sarah, would you do it again?
In a heartbeat. 100% yes. And actually, I'm already looking at maps and thinking about the next trip.
Sarah is already planning the next adventure. Well, we will have to make that another episode. Thank you so much to everyone who listened today. I hope you enjoyed hearing about our travels to Porto, Madrid, and Paris.
And I hope it inspired you to travel too. Travel teaches you so many things about the world, about other cultures, about food, about history, and about yourself. It is one of the best educations you can have.
Well said, Sarah. Okay, everyone, that's it for today's Matt and Sara podcast. If you liked this episode, please share it with a friend who is also learning English. And come back next time for more conversations, more learning, and more fun.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Take care, keep practicing your English, and never stop exploring. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.